budgets were not done as tight as they are now. And so that's why we had larger numbers at the end of the year. And so then, as the budgets as we had other
Shrank.
struggles, and the
Right.
budget started getting tighter,
Less
we
full.
don't have that as much. And then, when you have, when you have projected revenues, well, okay, this year it's great because we're gonna end up getting more than we projected for, the tuition revenues. However, on the other hand, we're getting less in what we projected for building revenue. So, so there are just so many pieces.
But bottom line is, for me, we have to do something as a town to generate more revenue, because you know that we're falling off a cliff with the municipal cost sharing, our revenue from the state. And we can't always put that 100% on the taxpayer. And I just feel like that's what we're doing. We're putting 100% onto the taxpayer. It's just not, it can't be sustained. So we need to do something, like, I think, to use Lisa's term, paradigm shift somehow. Get new revenues in.
From other sources than the taxpayers, so no
Yeah.
fees or.
Businesses.
I'm
Or businesses, 'cause
thinking,
they're.
No,
Grand
and
list,
businesses.
increasing the
well.
grand list, doing
Yeah,
the
so it's grants, this is really
doing
tax
the,
money, but,
Right, different.
yeah,
pool.
I know, yeah. I mean, I loved your grant writer proposal the other night, but.
I didn't like
cut me
having that.
50, I can't find
I'll
it
just
now.
go on record, I didn't like that as having a town employee on the
Yeah.
books doing that, though. There are lots of consultants that can do that for a percentage of what
I
they
don't know
bring
that we
in.
would, gonna hire, I think we were gonna explore what municipal grant writing was gonna be, but they still need the money up front. They don't get paid a commission after you get it, you still have to pay for that service, so, just to be clear on that, I wasn't hoping to put a
I'm looking,
full-timer.
the drum I've been trying to beat
Yeah.
for quite a while now is we need to address the revenue side of the equation. And if it means anything we can do to the grand list, if it means we can do grants, if it means that we can do whatever we can do, we need to try to offset the decrease in state revenue. As the state funds go down, other funds have to go up. Or we lower the quality of life. It's the two choices. And can we do things with cost reductions? Can we put together some seed money to say, okay, if some town employee comes up with a way to save $100,000, we give them $2,000? Yeah, we can do those kind of things too.
Yeah.
And I think long-term, there's going to be savings there as well, but I don't think that's really where the big impacts are going to be.
And I just want to understand one thing you said, if I could, for clarification. Our current mill rate's 26.16, right? Okay. If we allocated 675 in our fund balance, coupled with the reductions that we proposed Monday night, which were 249, our mill rate would go up 1.3, is that correct?
No, I think 1.19.
1.19.
1.19, okay.
If we didn't do the 249, then it would have gone up 1.3.
So 1.19 divided by 26.16 is 4.5% increase.
God,
In
that's
the
the
mill
number
rate.
you were trying to get to last
And
night.
last year, it was 6.2, if I'm not mistaken, in the mill rate, correct?
In the
No, it
tax
didn't go
rate.
up that much.
It went up 0.66. We were talking 0.88 and
No.
0.66.
No,
It
you're
was-
talking mill rate
It
numbers, I'm
was-
talking
It was
percentage.
a
0.89.
three-ish, it was a three-ish.
Well, the increase in the mill rate was
No.
3%,
It was
but the
3%.
actual cost to the taxpayers and their property tax bill was more like 6% last year. So it's
Okay,
not,
that's
it's not,
because
it's
of
not
the
a one
revale. Okay, right. Because
correlation.
of the reval.
Oh, because of the
Correct.
reval.
The reval.
That's right.
Okay, so if the mill rate this year with our proposed number, I don't want to sound like I'm in third grade math, but let's just make sure we're on the same page. If the mill rate increase goes up 4.5%, the taxes, because there's no reval this year, are going to be accordingly 4.5% increase. Right?
That would be reasonable.
Unless the state
It's
comes
still a
back with
chunk.
more.
It's just a lot.
More than half of that is a result of state.
I know.
Yeah.
I know it is, but I still keep going
You're
back to the,
welcome.
I'm gonna hit my parents up for money thing, and
You keep going back to the why, we keep going to the, it's a
It is what
fact.
it is.
Yeah,
It's a hit.
Well,
that's,
and
we're
it's
looking
not-
at the delta, you're looking at the why the delta, and,
no, I'm not looking at why. It's,
no, Mark is saying the why. Mark's saying that it's because of the state, and it's,
And there were other local revenues that we took hits with. For example, the sewer
Sewer.
Sewer one, yep.
assessment,
Sewer,
you
bad
know,
timing.
Yeah.
that was bad
So-
timing.
Yep.
And,
Oh.
you know, tuition revenues went down a little bit. So between those two revenues, that's a $500,000.
Yeah.
That's a $250,000.
I know, I just keep going back to the Board of Ed budget being up 25% since 2010, and we don't wanna be there. I know, it hurts, but. Oh, God, all right, we still don't wanna be there. I mean, and student enrollment is down.
Health insurance is up 40% in 4 years. It's been 15% for the last 4 years, health insurance. Compounded. So it's been
All right,
15,
'Kay.
30,
I'm set.
60%.
any other conversations about the Board of Ed budget? Okay, do we want to rediscuss the town budget? No, okay, good. Let's talk about capital. Do we want,
You did a great job with the town budget, and I know the board did also, but I still.
I shouldn't have talked you into it, yes.
So,
We'll get it done, we'll take it on the chin.
I have a really dumb question. What did we finally decide on the town budget on Monday?
50,
50?
But you added one.
but we added
So-
one.
Yeah, so it's 203.
So-
49,000.
trying to figure out where the 249 came from, but that's where they came from.
Yes, it was that
Yeah.
$1,000.
I might even find an extra 1,000, just to make it even 250.
Bottles and cans.
I like that idea.
They're all.
No,
And you won't
voted
get
on.
questions, so just do it that way.
Okay,
Good way to step up, Jeff.
So then,
Good
where do we
move.
leave off with this? Is the deliberation, I mean, unless somebody wants to talk about the town budget, I'm just trying to wrap my head about where we are.
so I think we've all decided that we don't like what's in front of us, but we don't have a better solution. I think we would all love to have some offsetting revenue, so we didn't have to try to decrease the quality of life. I think that's where we're at. So I
Except
think-
we had comments about going through the Board of Ed budget line by line, but we don't do that.
Well, for
Some
what
of
I
us
heard, I heard two pieces of good news tonight. I want to concentrate on the good news we heard tonight. One is that, you know, that these bids coming in for the schools are $1 million less than we anticipated. That means less bonding having to go out. And two, there's some contingency money left from last year that they can tap into to help them bridge that gap if they want to maintain their services. So, I don't know, those are the positives we can take away.
And it would be nice to have Beth here because she had her ear to the ground quite a bit for different things coming out of Hartford. I know Mark has all that other stuff out of Hartford, and it seemed like there was always this, and it feels like this is worst-case scenario, and there is potential that the state's gonna come in with more than we're planning, but a wish and a promise. All right, so can we talk about the capital budget real quick? Or real long if so takes? 240, 724, 725, capital. Is there any opportunities that we see within the capital budget? So new capital within this budget is what?
We're buying two pieces of equipment. If you remember, it's going to, so nothing in Parks and Rec and nothing really anywhere else. The scuba gear they call it that, but the breathing apparatus that the fire get every year, they buy 4 every year. But the only other items are a trash truck, the arm thing, and two sidewalk tractors. We have 20-something miles of sidewalk in our road. 20, it's been a long week, 20 miles of sidewalks in our town. And we are dealing with about a half a tractor right now, one that's always in the shop. And there's a big issue during the snowy season.
And they're $60,000 apiece?
How much are they a piece? Are they 20 or 30? But it adds up to 60? What's the number? 28 each?
It's 2 for 60. 60 comes to mind.
I have it here. 56,000 for 2.
And right now, we have one that's
We
not
have one
working
that's-
full-time.
Right. We need to pick them up. We've gone long enough.
Okay. So the opportunity would be to get one this year, not 2, because right now we have one. So if we bought one new one, we would have one.
No, it's one that doesn't work, and we'd like to replace the 2 that we have. Yeah.
We have one that does work and one that doesn't work?
We have one that's doesn't work, and we have another one that's in the shop more than it's on the sidewalk.
So right
So
now,
we really need to
operational,
replace
these
both of
things,
these.
we have 75% of some percentage of, okay. Less than
We
one.
need to, I mean, we're talking man hours, we're talking the whole efficiency thing about snowstorms, and these guys are running
Okay.
around the clock a few times.
Can I ask a quick question about where the Board of Selectmen is at in terms of sidewalk
Ordinance, right?
ordinances?
So,
Sorry,
I've been
Jason.
told about 50% of those sidewalks that are in town, that 20 miles that I spoke of, are actually municipal sidewalks or sidewalks that really we wouldn't expect Stop and Shop to go out and shovel the sidewalk in front of Stop and Shop on the state road. But we are looking at a sidewalk ordinance. We are looking to pass the burden and the liability onto the property owners in front of their stores. There's just a lot of sidewalks in our municipality that we also have to tackle. But that's coming, that's being drafted. We'll do that during the off-season. It's been brought up several times in this town, and it's been shot down every time. So, we're gonna
Shut
try-
down by the Board of Selectmen?
But Board of Selectmen, I believe, or a town meeting,
Yeah.
long time ago. I wasn't part of the town. I've been told this is not a new idea. But maybe the times have come. I believe the time has come that we need to have some responsibility as citizens with the sidewalk running by our house. So,
Okay.
So that's line item 421, the plow, I'm sorry. The 2 snow machines, are you on?
What
Are you
line
on
item are you
capital?
on?
you want this?
421.
You want the big one?
Well, the big,
Oh, the
It's okay
big
if you're
one.
not. I can
Okay.
go
Yeah.
I'm
back.
trying to follow you, and I'm not following.
Yeah, no, we're just talking, there's 2 ways, there's several.
because it's in the budget book as well.
Yeah, we're looking at 724 in the budget book.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
54.
Yeah.
So some of that 50,000 that has been cut from me will come out of the CNRE. Will come out of, HVAC holds and sidewalk holds and town project holds. It has to. I'm hoping to pull only half from CNRE and half from town budgets. And I'm meeting with town department heads next week to go over those again. The computer equipment is money we put away for computer equipment. Parks and Rec equipment, when you see that 54,801, that's previous purchases, Anna? Yeah, so most of this money here is equipment we already own. When you go down this line, this Board of Selectmen proposed 2019 line, we already own all the equipment. The only equipment we're adding into this line is trash truck and 2 trackless.
Okay.
And that's.
So the only thing that we could affect is those 3 items.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
What up
Everything
with the
else.
servers?
Servers are a CNRE that we put money away for the servers, or are you talking about the
Police.
police server?
So
Yeah.
19 grand. Talk to me. Seems stiff. I mean, at the risk of sounding cavalier, but it's a chunk, right?
Mhm.
I don't have any data here. Just says we need them.
Right, and when they come up for appropriations, they'll have all that, they'll have their 3 bids and all that. They priced it out, they need a new server. They're dealing with, I mean, I don't think we've ever,
Well, part of it is.
go ahead.
Part of, the issues with the server is what they have to communicate with. We now have to be able to communicate with Waterford systems, and then we also have state systems that we have to be able to communicate. And so we need, it needs to be more robust. And,
multiple points.
and what we have over there is it's just old, and it does need to be replaced for the department to be able to operate efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
It's much, Lisa, it does sound high. I agree.
Thank you.
It's much like the trash truck. If they can go out there and find one on the lot that's last year's model, or, a gently used one, and they come in at $250, then they're gonna come in at $250. We budgeted for $320. It is in the budget for $320. We're planning $320, but very often you'll see Joe Bergar or any of the others come in with a lower number.
Can you talk to Mike on that, to the servers, and just see just ask if he can be mindful about, the price
Oh, yeah,
on
when they
that?
come to you, we'll make sure it's buttoned up.
Yeah.
Any other questions on the capital plan, 724? Hearing none. Is there any motion to adjust this in any way, shape, or form? Hearing none. Thank you for staying an extra, whatever.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Then is there any other discussions that we would like to have on deliberations prior to our meeting to set the mill rate?
So is our
Well,
next meeting for deliberations to continue?
We can go back to this agenda. Excuse me?
One more meeting scheduled for
For-
delivery.
If needed.
Right, that's
But
what I
that
wanna
would mean
say.
that we would have to hold that meeting.
That's Monday, April 24th.
Monday, the 23rd.
A week from Monday.
And we're gonna have any new knowledge between then and now?
I don't think you will.
I believe I think they have until May 4th for the state
Right.
legislature, so we really aren't gonna have, unless they
It's gonna
finish
happen.
early.
I'm a little bit confused, Mr. Chairman. Aren't we supposed to decide what we want to pull from the fund balance into the budget tonight? No? Karen's shaking her head no over there. Tonight is not the night for that?
I mean, no, I don't think that we're talking about what we're gonna do with revenue. I think the revenue side, if you wanna have more conversations about it, we're gonna have the conversations, but the decision, I think, comes when we have all the revenues. I think the decision on the revenue comes after the state tells us what we have.
But it's, okay. It's not coming till after we finish though, so I'm not sure what we're waiting for, but we'll do it another time. Am I wrong? Just heard May 4th.
Which is when we had, I mean, that's what we did last year, that's what we did the year before. The last 2 times that I was on the board that we had the final conversation about revenues is after we had the state values.
You set the mill rate after the referendum.
The public hearing is the 30th.
Yeah, but you don't set the referendum until after it's voted on.
Okay.
You
We don't
the
set
mill rate
the mill rate
We don't-
Until May 30th.
which is May 30th.
May 30th, right?
But after the public hearing is when we make
Set
the
the
final,
budget.
we set the budget.
That gets sent to town meeting and then gets sent to referendum.
Yeah, I guess I would just feel more comfortable knowing what we're going to propose for the budget going into it, rather than wait to decide.
But what we're proposing for the budget, we've discussed, which is subtracting from the number that we had before us, $249,000. So what we said for the budget would be this number minus 249.
Yep.
Anna, what are we doing with the 200 we found, we're gonna get overpaid from Salem? How is that showing up in our books? Didn't you tell us earlier
Well,
there was?
that's this, so this fiscal year,
Mhm.
let me just get my sheet here. So this fiscal year for tuition from Salem, we projected 2.8 million.
Mhm.
And so far we've received about 1.9.
Mhm.
We're expecting to receive another 1.2 before the end of the year, so that
Two or
means,
300,000
so it's
left
about
over, so
200,000.
What
So
What do we
that's-
do with that money?
Thank you.
So that becomes part of our overall operating results picture for this fiscal year.
But Salem is projecting that those numbers are gonna drop the following year
Correct.
also, right? So
Correct,
it's like,
yeah.
yes, we might get 200 or 300 extra this year, but the year after that, we might
Yeah,
get
I-
200 or 300 less.
Right, I just wanna know, what do we do, how does that work on the books? The money comes in more, do you leave it in that account, or does it go in,
That's a good question.
in the general fund, does it go in?
So, okay, so we have our projected revenues, they all come in at the end of the year, and, then we either have excess or deficit revenues on an account-by-account basis.
Right,
And then at the end of the year, we have our operating results, so that would be hopefully our revenues are greater than our expenditures, so we have an operating
Hopefully.
surplus.
Yeah.
And so an operating surplus would go into building up fund balance. An operating deficit would go
Oh.
to decreasing fund balance.
I
Because
gotcha.
your fund balance is the cumulative effect of operations over time.
I got you. Thanks.
So process-wise, what we're going forward with, do we have to have a motion on accepting this budget minus the 249, which makes it 71,794,933? Process-wise, do we need a motion to present that to the,
For the presentation,
yeah,
before you finalize it? I don't think so. I think it's still a work in progress. We, at Board of Selectmen, we don't vote on the revenue. You have affected that particular line, the budget, line. You brought it up when you wanted to save the mill rate, you brought it, wishing to bring it down to save our bond rating, which is, good.
Okay, so we don't need a-
So should you have a number so that the end result, you have to have it, I guess,
Would you
set
like,
the mill rate, but not necessarily any time before that, right?
would you
Well,
like?
It only affects the mill rate, it doesn't affect the
What we-
budgets that you're voting on, and the budget that you'll set after your meeting, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, have nothing to do with revenue.
what
Well,
we've done so far is we've taken your budget proposal of 72,033,933, and we subtracted 249,000, which makes it 71,784,933.
Right.
So for the proposed budget, the budget that we would move forward, that would be the value.
It's that, do you need a vote on
Well,
it?
So that's my
But see-
question is,
Do you need a vote?
Do we
Right,
need-
but I don't think, the correct budget number should be $72,036,140. That's the number you started with. So making a $249,000 reduction, then the budget would be $71,787,140.
71,700,
87,140. So the difference is, the $2,207.
the area that, the
clerical
replacement
error
sheet that we got?
With the Board of Ed, yeah.
Okay. So my question is,
Do you need a vote?
is the motions that we've, or the two motions that we've already had sufficient?
So-
It would be my recommendation to do a motion saying, your general government budget is the $18,045,025, debt service, $5,369,986, capital, $795,186, and the Board of Ed at $47,576,943, for a total budget of $71,787,140. That way it's clear
Is that how we've done it in the
what
past?
we did.
I was just going to put my 2 cents in. Several years ago, we used to give you the number that we wanted you to live by, and then the first selectman would come back and make recommendations of where the cuts would be, and we'd have to approve them one by one. I think last year we made a motion to have the first selectman use his discretion in deciding where he wants to make the cuts. If I'm not,
You
is that what we did last
probably
year?
may have.
Yeah.
I know that's what we did last year, and I know
Yep.
the year before that, Steve said, I just want everybody to come back with a number, and I had no clue what he was talking about because I was so green, and then as the deliberations went on, everybody gave him a number, and then we gave Mark that number, and he did with it what he had to do with it.
Larger number we took a cut on too.
Yeah,
50.
big number.
There was a significant change in the way that we did this. We used to open and close each individual department and make a motion on what that budget should be. And last year, or maybe 2 years ago, was the
Maybe,
first
yeah.
time it was just the top line number.
It was macro.
Okay. So, I would like to make sure that we're solidified around this budget number here, so that we can start wrestling with the revenue side, whether or not we take it away from the fund balance and et cetera. And if, when we set the mill rate, we have to reopen and tweak it like we did last year, I believe, that's fine. I would just like to codify where we're at right now. So you're saying in the past, each one of these four things would be defined
Voted on.
separately?
Or mentioned, and then the total. We do that at Board of Selectmen. So we say this number, and this number, and this, so 4 numbers, and then equaling a total. You can do that all in one motion or
Okay.
5 separate motions.
So from the board, is there a preference as to whether or not we talk through these values one at a time? Or we accept the 71, 787, 140?
I'd prefer we did it one at a time.
John?
One at a time, probably.
Camille?
Sure.
Ann?
One at a time.
Jason?
No.
I hear we're gonna do these one,
Yeah.
okay,
You can, but I don't think you need to. But
okay. So we got government, town government of, can you please repeat that number one more time?
$18,094,025.
94,025. 18940.
I'm sorry, it's 045, I read the wrong column, I'm sorry. $18,045,025. I gave you the number before the $49,000 reduction.
18,045,025. 18045,025.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion from anyone that would like to accept a town government budget of $18,045,025?
Go for it.
Also move.
Okay. I have a motion to accept the town budget of $18,045,025. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Any conversations about accepting this proposal? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? So moved. 600. Capital, I'm sorry, debt services. We want to combine debt services to $5,369,986, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. $5,369,986. So do I have a motion to accept a budget of $5,369,986 for debt services?
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this debt services? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
it. Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? So moved, 600. Moving on to Capital. Capital, we have a total of $24,259,197. Is that number correct?
No.
Hmm?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm the line above it. $795,186. Is that
Yes.
correct? All right, do I have a motion to accept a budget of capital combined for $795,186?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So moved, 600. Board of Ed. Board of Ed has a proposed budget of, Anna, can you please give me that number one more time?
47,576,943.
943. $47,576,943. Do I have a motion to accept a budget for the Board of Ed for $47,576,943?
So moved. Second.
Okay, I have a
John
motion
Camille.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Discuss.
I'm sorry, let's discuss. Please
So
discuss.
just saying, I'm not gonna support this for the reasons I talked about earlier. It's just, the trend is going up too fast, and I think it's more of a burden on taxpayers than they deserve.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstained? So moved, 510.
Well, that was really a nay, right?
Nay, whatever. I'm a no, I know.
I better
We
go
got
on
it.
record, I'll go on record as being a no also, Mr. Chairman, since I was the no the first go round.
Okay, so we will amend that motion to a 420.
Yep.
Alrighty then. Any more discussions on the deliberations of the budget? Here are none. Public discussion. Anybody from the public like to talk about anything that was on the agenda or was not on the agenda? Here are none. Board comments. I believe we can now cancel that final deliberation meeting for the April 23rd, is that the date?
Yeah.
Okay.
Meeting canceled, right?
So can I have a motion to delete the April 23rd meeting?
Moved.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to amend the agenda to delete the April 23rd meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? So moved, 600. All right, additional board comments. John, is there anything you'd like to share with us today?
No.
Lisa?
Nope.
Camille?
Yeah, just a little comment that I would like, as we're going through the process, to just be a little bit more open about input from each of the members.
Input from what?
Each of the members on the board, a little more, maybe if we could be a little bit more receptive to hearing everybody's views whenever they wish to speak. I think it's very important for the process.
Oh, I think we tried.
We do try. There's always
Is
room
that
for
it?
improvement.
Is that it?
That is.
Thank you. Ann?
Nothing. Yeah, thank you.
Jason?
I think Eric from the Board of Education had some great suggestions. I think we need to meet with him prior, like we had talked about in October. But I'm really interested to see the amount of kids that come